Good morning. I'm talking to Onessa Bergman today. Onessa is a biosynthesis therapist. Hi, Onessa.
Hi. How are you? Good to be here.
Onessa, the first thing I want to know is, what is a biosynthesis therapist?
Well, being a biosynthesis therapist is working with a somatic and psychodynamic psychotherapy, which includes aspects of pre- and perinatal psychology, body psychotherapy, and transpersonal psychology. Biosynthesis has been researched and developed by David Bordella for the last 30 years, who is based now in Switzerland. In the center of this therapy, there's always the needs of the client that stands at the base, and not that the client has to adapt him or herself to the methods of a certain therapy, but that the therapist must be able to apply for the respective patient the best method. So that's kind of what biosynthesis is in short form.
And who can it help? Can it help only adults, or is it for children as well?
Well, like with any therapy, there's no limit or boundary as to whom can be helped. It is for each therapist to decide who and how they can help the best, and with whom the client feels most comfortable, both adults and children, couples, families, groups. There is really no limitation.
What would happen in a session?
Well, it often depends on the client. However, the idea is to define the core issues. While acknowledging the past, we neither dwell on it nor emphasize the pain that might have brought the client to me. Rather, I try to take that information and look to the present and how to structure the client's thinking so that past traumas can be easily dealt with today. Biosynthesis methodology encourages bridging the emotional with the cognitive or the rational, and the cognitive rational with the body, and the body with the emotions. So I often utilize work with the breath and body work to help activate dormant impulses. As a yoga teacher of 20 years, I also have a lot of experience with breath, body, and meditation, which helps to facilitate this.
Okay, and how many sessions would a person need, or would it depend on what they were coming to you for?
Well, it really varies according to each individual. I would say in order to create a trusting, safe environment, it takes at least 10 sessions for myself and my client to become acquainted, comfortable, and feel safe enough to deal with challenges that may arise. I have a client right now who has been with me for 2 years, which can be quite normal.
So I could come to you with any problem if I was going through a divorce, if I was feeling very stressed, if I had even just made Aliyah and feeling that was I was battling to cope with that whole transition. Anything, you'd be able to help.
Absolutely.
Any person normally go to the conventional therapist.
Absolutely. Any problem that comes up in one's life where it's difficult to handle things alone, and where it helps to have someone with them to guide them and to help sustain and contain issues that might come up, especially in transitions. Like making Aliyah here in Israel can be extremely stressful. You have young children, you don't know the language, there's so many issues, your family isn't here, you feel alone. There are ways to work in biosynthesis that can help to find our resources and our strengths that we had there, but because of the transition perhaps forgot about, and we feel totally lost, and that through the biosynthesis you can actually help to find and bridge those moments. So you have the strengths that you had before, it's like your life didn't end, and you have the strengths that you have today. You still are, for example, mother of 3 children and very feeling good about your motherhood, but there are these weakness is there. So how do we bridge those two resources, the strengths of how I was before, how I want to be, and what can I do to help myself to deal with this difficult time? And very often it's just so hard to do alone. And I think that the difference between the biosynthesis and normal psychology would be that there are ways to work also with the body that we often forget.
Thank you. Thank you so much for talking to me today. I really appreciate it.
Nice to meet you.